Veterans get new benefits. A major warning from a U.S. general about what is about to happen. The U.S.'s credit rating gets a major warning as well. And a major state takes away what the voters just voted for. And congressmen are trying to negate what just happened. That's right. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video. Wow, if you guys appreciate these updates, don't forget to smash the like button for us. First of all, I want to thank all of our veterans here that have ever served our country. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank my brother right here, Frank, who served in our military, our army. Thank you so much. And also my grandfather, who is no longer with us, on my mother's side, who was also Frank Senior. So both of them, my grandfather Frank was actually in the Navy. He was at Pearl Harbor like 2 or 3 days before Pearl Harbor hit, and he was there. He left on a boat 2 or 3 days before Pearl Harbor hit, and thankfully he left because he could have lost his life. And this was before my mom was born. And if that had happened, my mom wouldn't have been born, and then I might not have been born. Then my son might not have been born, and well, that could have been a tragic story. For I might not be here to even tell you the story. So yeah, and then he went on to fight in World War II and the Navy and served our country. So yeah, that's quite a story, quite a story. So thank you all to everybody and our veterans who have served in the military. Let me know down below in the comments if you served in our military, or if you have any friends or family members who served in the military. If you have any stories, please let us know down below in the comments. I'm sure our viewers would love to hear them. Also, today is actually my wife's birthday as well. So yeah, today is my beautiful wife Laurel's birthday as well. So happy birthday to you, Laurel. We're going out to dinner right here after this video. So happy birthday to Laurel, whose birthday every year is on 11/11, Veterans Day. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And here we go. Biden expands veterans health care coverage for veterans here. Take a look. The president's speech on veterans care comes after the White House announced new efforts to expand healthcare access for veterans. Beginning this month, the Department of VA Veterans Affairs will offer its no-cost healthcare to veterans who live in nursing homes and all those who served in World War II. The department will also cover costs associated with Parkinson's disease. On Saturday, Biden also announced that veterans who were exposed to toxins will be able to enroll in the department's no-cost healthcare starting March 2024 as well. The effort to provide toxin-exposed veterans health services has been hailed as the largest expansion of care in VA history. This year, the VA has awarded $163 billion in earned benefits to more than 6 million veterans and processed almost 2 million disability claims. Next up, General Jack Keane has a stark warning for the U.S. and Iran. Take a listen to what he has to say here.
To General Jack Keane with us right now. And General, I was thinking, and an honor to have you on this Veterans Day, that even when we're not involved in this war, we still have U.S. soldiers, certainly the 1,200 or so whose boots are on the ground there in harm's way. There have been almost 50 attacks on them since the start of this war from Iranian-backed entities. So the threat is still there. Our response is usually pretty predictable, General. We go after these rebel groups funded by Iran, and we leave it at that. What do you think?
Well, firstly, I just like to take a look at it strategically, what is happening. I mean, there's a recognition among many of us in foreign policy and national security, wake up every day, and this is what we work on, that the United States has lost its ability to deter its adversaries. Our adversaries for the last 2-3 years have gotten considerably more aggressive. We did not deter Putin in Ukraine. We have not deterred the Iranians from what they're attempting to do here in using their instrument, Hamas, to destroy as much of Israel as they can, weaken Israel politically, isolate them geopolitically, certainly, get worldwide condemnation against Israel, and try to force a collapse of the government. And certainly they are trying to drive us out of the Middle East, which has been an objective for 43 years, and that's why they're attacking us, I think now 48 times since October the 7th, 83 times before that. But even more than that, we have President Xi. You've commented on it many times. We have discussed it many times as how he has stepped up his aggression against the United States, against Taiwan, against our allies and partners for the last 2 or 3 years. We are not deterring these adversaries. They see leadership in the United States. They believe it's weak. This is their perception, and they think they can take advantage of us because the United States is, generally speaking, in decline, and we don't have the same political will. And they look at our military and they see the facts, that the military post 9/11 has eroded. Its deterrent capability is not as strong as it used to be. It's still the #1 military in the world, but when you put it in certain scenarios, it is challenged. All of those things are coming together here, and that is why you see the attacks continuing to accelerate against U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria, despite the fact that we've tried to tell them through 2 airstrikes to knock it off. They're not going to knock it off. That's the reality of it until you put something on the table that they value more, and you're willing to take some risk with that in escalation and not be afraid that it's going to start a war with Iran. The 43 years of evidence suggest that Iran does not want direct confrontation with the United States. That's why they designed this brilliant strategy of using proxies in other countries, terrorist organizations primarily, to attack us and drive us out of the region. They don't want direct confrontation with us because that's the end of their regime.
But General, don't the Iranians know that we don't want a direct confrontation going after entities in Iran, and that is something from which they take advantage?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's why I believe after you take down the proxy's capability to attack us, that you put on the table the IRGC training center, which is based in Iran, where all these proxies train. The Hamas was there with 500 in September, as an example. Put on the table the IRGC bases, which Reagan did in the mid-'80s. He took down oil platforms. He took down IRGC naval bases because they were interfering with the flow of oil out of the Persian Gulf, which is another one of their major objectives. And also put the IRGC headquarters in Iran on the table. These are things that will get their attention. We've had 2 presidents that have done this. Reagan is one. The other one is certainly President Trump, when he went after the leader of the IRGC Quds Force, who was directing the attacks against the United States, and certainly targeted him and killed him. And that put them back on their heels. Now, did they conduct an attack in recrimination against us? Yes, but it was a measured attack, and we never heard from them since. That's under the Trump administration, I mean. So, yes, I think we have to confront the Iranians over this issue, or it will continue. After all, we're trying to prevent Americans from being killed. And it looks like as they continue to conduct these attacks, at some point, our luck is going to run out. And sadly to say, we may have a tragic occurrence here.
So the general is saying we have to confront Iran or this will continue. They've attacked U.S. military bases like 50 times now in the Middle East. And I mean, he's right. Now, President Biden and the military, the senior military leaders, we've attacked them back twice, probably hoping that they will cool it, they will stop. Clearly, they haven't. Now, this is where it gets tricky here because when the U.S. starts attacking back, you're going to get people on both sides saying Biden's leading us into World War III. You're going to get people saying that, okay? And then you're going to get people on the other side saying that Biden's not attacking back. Biden's showing weakness. Why isn't Biden doing anything? Okay? You can see this also on the Israel-Palestine-Gaza thing as well. Hamas attacks Israel. Then you have Hezbollah attacking Israel. Then you have the Houthis from down south attacking Israel. Israel starts attacking back, and you have the propaganda from the other side, even the Russian propaganda now as well, saying, "Oh my God, Israel's attacking back. Free Gaza, free Palestine. Look at what Israel's doing. Oh my God, Israel is terrible." But you're not hearing what about what Hamas did that started this all and attacked a music festival and kidnapped innocents and attacked these people out of the blue, basically, right? I mean, I get that this has been going on for hundreds of years and stuff, but had they not have done this on the music festival on day one, there would be no war going on right now. No new front of the war. And this is the problem, right? So I think that Biden and the U.S. Army was hoping to not take this to the next level, but Iran and their proxies keep hitting the U.S. military to force us to take it to the next level. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. This also comes here as Moody's sends a warning to America. Your last AAA credit rating is at risk. The U.S. is one step closer to losing its last perfect credit rating after Moody's, other credit ratings have already downgraded the U.S. credit rating, after the Moody's Investor Service changed the outlook on the nation's debt rating to negative on Friday after the markets closed. Moody's debt rating, they changed the U.S. debt rating to negative. Wow. While the move does not automatically mean it will downgrade America's credit worthiness, it increases the chances. This is because the nation's diminished fiscal strength, undone by extreme partisanship in Washington, was a key driver of action, according to the statement from Moody's. And we have our government shutdown potentially going to happen here in just a matter of a few days, and no progress yet on that here as well. Shows the unconfidence here in our leadership, our elected leadership. Also, we had several issues put on the ballots across multiple states here in the elections that just happened here a few days ago. And people spoke, and, it is what it is, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, people showed up to vote and, voted for what they thought. And we had here abortion right advocates win major victories in multiple different states, or women's choice, some people call it, right? The results sent a stark signal for 2024 about enduring demands across political spectrum to protect access to abortion, even in conservative states. As the people are starting to speak that women don't want to have their bodies controlled, even if they don't want an abortion. The problem is this also affects people with miscarriages. My wife had a miscarriage years ago, before we had our son, and they won't even be able to get prescribed the miscarriage medication. There's all sorts of things about this, right? And women have gone out and voted that they don't want to have, old men tell them what to do with their bodies. So even in Republican typically states, they went out to vote and showed what they were spoken for, right? The problem here now is that Ohio GOP lawmakers called to block courts from implementing what was voted for. They're trying to overturn the vote. And I'm shocked at this because I'm from Ohio, right? And this is kind of appalling to me because people came out to vote, they exercised their vote, and lawmakers are trying to block what people voted for. This is the most unconstitutional thing ever, right? Several Ohio Republican lawmakers are proposing to strip courts of their authority to review cases related to implementing the newly passed law. In what world is this the United States? This is not what is supposed to happen in the United States. This isn't Russia or North Korea. This isn't a dictatorship. People vote, and this is what's supposed to happen. What you vote for goes into law. In a statement released Thursday, 4 Republican lawmakers claimed without evidence that there was foreign election interference in the state of Ohio voting, but not none of these other states. Like, come on, guys. In the vote to pass issue 1 and threatened to block the ability of courts to interpret the new constitutional amendment to quote, this is what they're saying, to prevent mischief by pro-abortion courts, Ohio legislators will consider removing jurisdiction by the judiciary branch over this ambiguous ballot initiative, the lawmaker said. The Ohio legislature alone will consider what, if any, modifications to make to existing laws based on public hearings and input from legal experts on both sides. Issue 1 passed Tuesday with 57% of the vote. It creates a constitutional right to reproductive freedom in the state, which protects decisions on contraception, fertility treatment, continuing a pregnancy, miscarriage care, and abortion up to the point of fetal viability. And as you can see here, there's a lot of different things in the bill that women just didn't want to have people that have no right to tell them what to do with their body. And this is why the measure passed with quite a few percentage. Women don't want to have people telling them what to do with their body. But Republicans in the General Assembly have vowed to fight the measure, even though people have already came out and voted and it's already passed. This is very, very dangerous precedent. No matter what state you're in, this is the stuff we got to be very, very careful of, no matter what side you're on, Republican, Democrat, Independent, or you're just a United States citizen, or if you're watching from another country, because I have a lot of people that watch from other countries. This is very, very dangerous. Okay, when people go out to vote, and no matter which side you're on, whether you're for or against the losing side, the winning side, when stuff goes and it votes and people vote, then something passes, and then people try to overturn what passed. This is very dangerous. This is very dangerous, and I'm very fearful. Hear my words now. For when the 2024 election comes, there's going to be a lot of people that are unhappy no matter what passes, the winners and the losers. Remember my words here now. I'm going to say this ahead of time. Okay. This is a very dangerous precedent of what's going to happen for the next election. I'm going to say this ahead of time. Okay. We're already starting to see things percolate and claim, the election interference and stuff like this. And come on, this is the state of Ohio, right? And we've seen the exact same stuff pass in multiple states, and polling ahead of time already showed that this is what a lot of people were thinking, right? We kind of already knew that a lot of people. This is what a lot of people wanted. A lot of women were showing up to vote because they didn't want to have a lot of, for lack of a better word, they didn't want to have a lot of old men telling women what to do with their bodies. And again, I'm a man. I could just see this. This is just what a lot of people were thinking, right? And I get this. You might be on one side or the other. I'm just a realist. I'm just, just talking off the cuff here, right? We're just talking between friends, right? I get that you might be against this or for this issue. I get it. A lot of people have different opinions, right? This is America. You can have a different opinion and still, agree or disagree, right? But the problem here is, and think about this for the next election, right? Think about this for the next election. No matter what passes, there's going to be some people upset. There's going to be some people, that are saying, yay, we won, or yay, we didn't win. But whatever passes, we have to say, okay, it passed. Take it on the chin or say, okay, great. But when they start to try to overturn what was voted for, and they try to take the legality away from the law, or they try to take it away from the judges or the justices, or try to strip the Constitution from the people who voted for it. This is really bad precedent. Let me know your thoughts. We'll have to see how this plays out here going forward, just in the state of Ohio, because this is also going to be very big for the entire country. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here. And again, even if it was the other way around, if the other side won and they were trying to overturn the results, it would be the same way. The people showed up and they voted, and one side won. And now lawmakers, 4 lawmakers, are trying to overturn what thousands, I think it was millions actually, millions of people in the state of Ohio voted for. Do you see the problem? Yeah. So I'll keep you up to date. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below, click the bell icon. I'm just here bringing you guys the truth and showing you guys what is happening here in our country and around the world. So, scary times. Yeah. Click here to watch my newest video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.